Starting with Mr. David Moyes, Vishnu, kick us off.
David Moyes, the supposed chosen one. Um, in all fairness, like I'll start off easy with him as well. It's a bit difficult to fill the shoes of Sir Alex Ferguson, who is undoubtedly like the best manager the world has ever seen in the game of football. He had won the league as well in his final year as manager. Lost his final game, I think so.
Mhm.
But yeah, from going into 2012 to 13 season when we won the title, raking up 86 points with 28 wins, steps in a chosen what do you say, a chosen manager by Sir Alex Ferguson himself. He had said that David Moyes would succeed him, which is a shocking, revelation for all fans at that point in time, because David Moyes was just the Everton manager, and they had finished sixth their previous year with 63 points. Moyes comes in, and from day one, you could see that there's been like a sort of um, he just didn't fit the role as expected. It is tough on him as well. But like even from day one, he was just very uncouth about how he was awestruck about Man United the whole time. So he didn't really hold for me. He didn't really seem to be like a manager already in command. He was still like trying to like get into the whole aspect of being a Manchester United manager. Yeah, so yeah, the end of the year, he finished with only 64 points. United finished seventh that season with only half, like 50% wins, 19 wins, seven draws, and 12 losses that season, which is pretty much what he would have done with Everton. So it didn't really make a difference to us. He didn't win any trophies. He was signed on a 6-year deal. Can you believe that? Six-year
Insane.
deal for a fucking manager is ridiculous. And he lasted only 9 months and was fired after United's like bad performance, and Ryan Giggs took over, I think. But
Mhm.
in this time as well, I have like four or five things that really went wrong with David Moyes. Um, so he did last the season despite uh, inheriting a title-winning squad that included Rio Ferdinand, Wayne Rooney, all these guys as well. Um, yeah, he was Rio in a interview said that he was like very hands on everything. So he wanted to be a part of every single thing, and he didn't really delegate, which is what Sir Alex Ferguson did a lot, and he was good at doing that. So he struggled there because he didn't couldn't control everything. So the coaching, the player management, everything he had to be hands on it, which kind of sucked for him, I guess. Um, and he also said that Rio also said that he was focusing more on the other team's strengths than United's own tactics, because he would look at like games against Liverpool or like I guess Chelsea, and they'll be talking about Hazard for most of the session and not even like discussing their own tactics. So they're like looking to solve problems instead of creating goals, which is a backward step as well in a managerial career. He when he came in as well, he severed a lot of ties with the coaching staff. One of the most
Mhm.
notable ones
Yeah.
was Rene Muhlenstein. He was our first team coach, and he became the assistant manager as well for Sir Alex Ferguson before he left. This guy was fucking insane, and it's if you're coming into like a big club, you should have at least coaches or like at least a backroom staff who are like quite comfortable with the players and stuff, because you are new into the setup and you don't want to create that sort of like newness with the team's culture as well. You want to keep that going because they've just won a title as well. So that
Mhm.
was his first issue. He failed the transfer market because of his like we were I remember I think Seth we were like really poaching Seth Fabregas, if you guys remember this.
And Tony
Very
Cruz.
strong. And Tony
And
Cruz,
We were very
yeah.
close to Cruz.
very close to Cruz. But then like Cesc Fabregas, it was very unrealistic that Cesc would come to us. But at the same time, like Cesc said that like it was a very desperate attempt for Man United to try and sign him. At the end of the day, we only signed two players. One was Juan Mata, which is I think is a pretty good buy at that
Yeah.
time at least. Which is shocking because he was Chelsea season player of the year the previous year,
Twice.
and
Yeah,
yeah, and
Wow.
then Mourinho was like fuck off.
of
And then
course.
the second the second notable transfer he did was Marwan Fellaini, and that was deadline day January transfer. which is also a
Weren't they
panic
both
buy.
January transfers? Just
Were they
asking.
actually? Oh, I'm not sure. I think
Yeah.
Mata was signed
I think
over.
Mata was I think,
Yeah,
season or whatever.
Okay.
we'll
Okay.
check on that. And yeah, so he desperately failed in the transfer market. He failed to impose like a distinctive style of play at Man United. We were like very non-threatening in attack. We were like shambolic in the defense, and there was no really like there was no. It was very lackluster Man United, which is very hard to digest after a successful season with Ferguson. He failed to get the best out of players like Wayne Rooney, Adnan Zanjai, Juan Mata, even Robin van Persie to some extent. Yeah, tactically very underwhelming manager, man, and yeah, along with I felt like he didn't really do well with the senior players as well. There was like a deference there. He didn't really work with like Rio, Vidic. Vidic was still there outside, right? Then I
Yeah.
think he was
Yeah.
captain as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he was captain
I
as
think it
well.
was his last season. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I'll tell you what, this is a little bit of a fun fact as well. Moyes' first game as manager, I watched that game. It was. Do you guys remember when they came to Thailand for an All-Star game?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'd gone to watch that game, and I saw Moyes' first game. We lost that game 1-0 to the Thailand All-Stars.
Was that the game where Danny
Oh
Welbeck
yeah,
tried
I
to do a
remember
step
That's
this.
over?
exactly the
I was
game.
there
Yeah.
too. I was there too. Yeah, that was fucking insane. Dude, I'm gonna send
Yeah.
you a picture of us at that game and just fucking put it up, dude. It was depressing as
All
fuck.
right, cool. Yeah, I'll do that. It was such a depressing game. I Rooney traveled with the team, but he got injured and he didn't play that game.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, must have been a sign. But yep, Moyes didn't really fit into the club. He just lasted 9 months, and yeah, it was pretty. It was sad to see because like we've had a manager for 26 years, and then suddenly our next one only lasted 9 months. So I feel like that's where all the troubles began. We couldn't really cope, and it was bad from the United's executive point of view as well, hiring a sort of, for me, I would say a substandard manager to fill the shoes of the Alex Ferguson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to counter some of what you said though. Like you said, Adnan Januzaj, dude, he
Yeah.
developed a fuck ton under Moyes. To be fair, he only had a good seasons under David Moyes. Like his only good time. Also, the thing is, Mata was a January transfer, by the way. So
Okay.
Moyes got nobody in that season,
Summer.
and you could already tell when Ferguson won the Premier League, that was an aging squad. Like we all
Yeah.
knew it was the perfect time for Fergie to leave because the squad was getting depleted as fuck. They were
Yeah.
all old. We bought in no transfers. Kagawa was still brought in during Fergie's reign,
Yeah.
and it's our chief executive left at the same time. David Gill had been there the entire time
Yeah.
with Alex Ferguson. There's a huge change. We brought in Ed Woodward. Yeah, I don't know why Moyes brought in his own entire own training staff. That was fucked.
Yeah.
We should have kept some people,
Yeah.
from the past. But like to get no transfers to an aging squad was a bit unfair for him. And giving him a 6-year contract is just like it's unreasonable for him to be able to live up to some high ass expectations, after the best manager of all time. To give him only
Yeah.
9 months is pretty unfair with a depleted squad. And RVP was on the decline. Rooney was on decline. Vidic got sold to Inter the next year.
Yeah.
Was at dog shit. Didn't even make the
Yeah.
starting lineup after 2 games.
He was the
Ferdinand
captain as well,
QPR.
dude. He was our captain at that time as well.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
First went to QPR, was also benched at QPR. So like
Yeah.
there is a bit of unfair load thrown on David Moyes, but obviously David Moyes wasn't the one. Like I can't counter your other points. Tactically, it wasn't there. He still had enough of a squad to do better than what he did. But I feel like we have to give him some at least because we ruined his career.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Yeah,
ruined
we
his
did.
career. He should have stayed at him.
I completely agree with that too. Like I just feel like what Moyes was doing with Everton at that point was pretty impressive, but that wasn't enough, which I never understood why. All right, he's doing well with a team like Everton, but what was your reasoning to bring him to United? Like, our deliverables for the season and stuff was so much more higher than what Everton's is. So it didn't make sense to me at that point. Obviously, we were all shocked, and I guess what happened was inevitable. Like I don't think if I never thought Moyes could surprise us because I was never, you know, I don't know. Like it's a different ball game when you have to deal with like, you know, top tier players compared to what he was dealing with at Everton. You know, so that's how.
But to be honest, I thought David Moyes would do well at United because I saw where United was going. They wanted a long-term manager. They didn't want. We could have brought in Jose.
Yeah.
Jose was heavily linked for the job, and because we didn't give it to him, he went back to Chelsea. But I saw like our approach was we don't want someone like Jose who will come in for 2 years. We want someone like Fergie who will last us into the next decade.
Yeah.
But and Everton, he did a great job, man. He was there for like 10
He
years
did.
plus, and he took a decent squad,
Yeah,
to
he
being
did.
sixth place every year. So
Absolutely. Yeah, and he
He was
got
consistent
by-
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Sure.
I think that's it on David Moyes. He was not good enough to be the chosen one, but
Yeah.
he was also unfairly treated a bit. And I think Vishnu covered it very well.